everybody, this is Doug, Kenny, and Justin from Stories from Motorsports, and today we have Archie St. Hilaire with us. Hey man, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Doing great.
All right.
Where are you at the moment, Archie?
I am in a little resort town called Old Orchard Beach, Maine, on the coast of Maine, southern Maine on the coast.
That's great to hear. What about you, Justin?
In my bedroom, like I always am.
Yeah, he's in Iowa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Iowa.
And I'm in Phoenix, Arizona.
All righty.
Yeah, so Archie, give our followers a bit of what you're known for.
Well, I don't know what I'm known for, really. I mean, I started some NASCAR racing back in probably 2008 with the Xfinity. I got some points from Jack Roush in the Xfinity program, and we did that for 3 years. And then we turned around and bought a Cup team from Frank Stoddard and ran that for 8 years. And then 2000, we got chartered in 2015 or 16. I'm not sure when the charters came out. So I got a charter, and then I bought half of another one. So I had 1.5 charters, and we ran in the Cup Series for 7 years.
Pretty cool. What was your team called?
The team was Go FAS Racing, based out of Mooresville, North Carolina.
That's nice. And what was it before then?
Before it was Go Green Racing, and then when we bought the team, actually we changed it to Go Fast because the guy I bought it from, Frank Stoddard, that was his initials, FAS. So we put it together, Go Fast without the T, and thought it had a little ring to it. So that's kind of how we did it.
Awesome. Where did you make your living growing up?
I'm from New England, and I've been in the garbage business most of my adult life. Sold out a couple times. It's kind of a type of business that gets acquired a lot. So in 1995, it sold out. And then in 2012, sold out again, rebuilt the business locally, had offices in Maine, New Hampshire, and did some business in Massachusetts, but didn't have an office there. We did that work from the New Hampshire office. That's
nice. Did you operate from Maine when you ran the Go FAS Racing team or no?
No. I went in 2015, lived in Huntersville, just outside Charlotte, and the shop's in Mooresville. So I moved down there till 2000, and then when I sold the charters, I moved to Orlando, Florida, which is my residence. And then I summer back here and home. I still call it home because it's where I was born, up in the town I'm in, Old Orchard Beach.
That's nice to hear. Fire away, Justin.
All right, Archie. So talk to us about all your experience in Cup. You had some great guys back you. Matt McGinn, Bobby O'Bonney.
Yeah.
Two drivers I mentioned. Who was your favorite to work with?
Oh, wow. Okay. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but all right. So when I started, and this is why we ended up with Bobby and Terry, who both are super guys to work with, I got to tell you. But they were at the end of their career, I'm sure during, the heyday of their career. But what Frank had lined the deal up when I bought the team. Frank said, do you still want to use Terry, who we had first? And the reason we had him really, I mean, we had him drive because they had the Champions Provisional. So we were locked into the Daytona race. The Daytona 500 is huge financially, and to kick off the season, you really need to kick that off by being in that race. And when we first started, nobody was locked in. It's not like today with charters and all that. So there was a chance you could go home, and that's a payday of $500,000 or more even back then. It's a lot more money now, but it was a huge payday. So we cut a deal. Frank cut the deal, and he had done it while he owned the team. And he said, do you still want to use Terry? And I said, sure. So we continued to use him, and working with him was super. I mean, at that point in their career, they kind of laid back a little, but he didn't mind mixing it up, him or Bobby, to be honest with you. If it was 10 laps left on a restart, they had no problem mixing it up. And both good guys to work with. Like I said, a little more laid back than probably in the heyday of their career, but we got along great with them. We had fun with them. And then Terry said, look, I'm going to retire and I don't want to race anymore. So but Bobby's retiring, so he had done with I think he was with JTG at the end there. And then he, was available, and he had a champion. He was a champion. So then the charters came, and you really didn't need that guy. So then we had Matt DiBenedetto came along. Boris did the Matt. So we were doing kind of a I don't want to call it flavor of the month, but we had a lot of drivers, right, doing the cup thing, and we wanted to really settle down and have a full-time guy. So that's when we had Matt DiBenedetto for 2 years, and then Corey for 2 years. But on the road courses, when Terry and Bobby, we had Travis Quapple drive. When we started with Bobby and Terry, but Boris would drive the road courses, and he's super fun to work with. He's a riot, he's out your way. He's got, I think, places in Carlsbad or something. He's an auto dealer. Super guy to work with, funny as anything, but he has a following that's unlike anything else. I mean, they really don't look like race people. It's almost, almost a cult following, really. I mean, I don't want to get into, not that deep, but he's just a super guy who has a ton of following. What we would do, so we had up in Watkins Glen, we had Genesee Beer, which is the oldest beer up in the Northeast. So Genesee Beer was our sponsor, and we did a lot of shows, meet and greets at Walmart and a lot of the stores, and there'd be lines a mile long when we got there waiting for them, and you just didn't look like the normal racing person. No racing hats and stuff. A lot of them had big afros. They'd grow their hair out because they knew he was coming, and it was just awesome. But what a super guy he is. He was just funny, real comedian. I mean, while he's in the race or practicing, he'd talk about things that were going on the other side of the fence, just made fun and had it. And a ton of guys, Kyle Edwards and all these guys would come over here and ask him questions about the track on how to do it. Because at that time he was the ringer, the road course ringer. So a lot of fun. And then we had the opportunity to say, okay, we're doing this, too many guys behind the seat. It's time to get a full-time guy. So we sat down, and Matt was a good guy, had done some stuff with BK Racing. So we said, well, let's put him in the car. So he did, and he got better. I thought he did better than he did at BK when he moved up. Then he had opportunity to go to the 95 and then Wood Brothers, and we're still great friends today. He's one of my son's best friends, who my son, actually, Mason, ran the team. And then he became close with Matt. I became close with his parents. So we still talk today. He's a good guy. And then after that, Corey came along for 2 years. Corey was his family's from New England, so we kind of knew that. We knew he had been with BK. He was moving up the ladder, getting better, and he's still getting better. I mean, he had a great race last week, and hoping he has a good one this week. So we've stayed friends with all those guys. They're really nice people, and that's kind of, so when I got into this thing, I thought, I had made some money, and like other people do, is a lot of them don't make it in racing. They make it in their other businesses, whether it's Roger Penske with his car dealerships, or, no matter who you talk to, or Hendrick with his car dealerships. Not many of them have made it, other than Childress, really, in the racing business, where you have another business. So I had sold out in 2012. This opportunity came up, and I said, look, I'm going to do this for 5 years. See if my son wants to continue it. I'll bring him into the business. But my plan was like 5 years, and say, I don't know that I want to do this till I'm, Joe Gibbs' age or something. But I said, I love racing, and I kind of like to do it for a while. So it ended up being like 12 years, and then I said, my son didn't want to do it anymore. He didn't come. He was a college hockey player, so he really didn't come from the racing side, where I had driven when I was a kid, owned when I was younger. And then I stopped racing to raise 2 kids. I have a boy and a girl. Mason's 34 now. My daughter's 31. And I just said, Mason didn't want to do it. He said, it's real hard to really do the racing thing 40 weekends a year. You've got 36 races. You're at Daytona an extra week. You've got the All-Star race. You got a lot of things. It comes to you test for a week somewhere. So it comes out to about 40 weekends a year. And it was just a tough social life. He said, I want to be a parent like you, not miss the kids' games and stuff like that. There's so many sacrifices that people don't know, whether you're an owner, you're a crew guy, or over the wall guy. there's a lot of sacrifices. We were gone. They've shortened the schedule a lot, but when I was there, it was like 4 days a week for 40 weeks, you know, so that was quite a schedule. You had to be ready for it. And you're flying all over the country. You know, one week you forget where you were last week. There's so much going on, you know, but it was fun. I don't regret anything I did there. I really liked it. NASCAR was great to us. Never had a problem. The France family, number one, good people. You know, Mike Helton and Steve Phelps and all those guys were really good to us. Steve O'Donnell. They liked us, you know, and it was funny when I told Jim, I said, Jim, I'm going to wrap it up and sell this, you know, the team and move on. And he goes, yeah, he was joking. He goes, yeah, we don't care about you. We just want your son to stay. Because at the time he was like 28, and really the youngest team executive out there. Weren't anybody in the 20s running teams. He was a GM of the team and ran it, and he was part owner. I made him part owner of it. So it was good for a young kid who had a college degree in business. So he wasn't a dummy. So he ran the team, and then I just said, hey, let's meet every September and tell me if you want to do it again, because I don't want you doing it for me. You know, it's kind of the father-son thing where, you know, they'll keep doing it for dad, and I don't want them to do that. I said, I want you to go off on your own, which he's done, and don't do it for me. So when he came to me and said, I don't think I want to do this anymore. I don't think it's my style, you know. So I said, all right. So I thought about bringing a guy in, you know, hiring somebody. And then I said, you know, I'm a business guy. I tell everybody in NASCAR that I'm a business guy before I'm a racer. And the opportunity came up. I mean, the charters became more valuable. They're way more valuable now, but still no regrets. The Wood Brothers were great people. I was leasing the charter to Wood Brothers, one of them. The other one that I was running, I owned half of that with Joe Falk. We got along great. But I just said, you know, if he doesn't want to do it, I don't want to do it. I don't want to. It was a bond that I tell people. My kid wanted to hang around with me till he was 30 years old. And when you get older and have kids, you see that, you know, come 25 or 30, they want to go on their own, and then dad's not so. He's important, but he's just not there all the time. So we really enjoyed working together, and he did a great job. He really learned a lot of things, and even though everybody would say, even though, you know, we ran in the 28th to 30th point spot, we really looked the part, because down there we had good looking cars. We had everybody uniformed up, you know, the truck looked great. So we tried to look the part. You know, I always said, we're racing with Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin and them. We're in the same race with them, but we're really not racing them. You know, it was kind of a group that, as you see in racing, you kind of have the front runners with the big teams. Then you have the middle runners, which I think this new car has closed that gap significantly. And then you got the guys that are at the back, but not just riding around for a paycheck. And we were in that group of five with the front rows and those guys that would run and the JTGs run, have some good finishes, and love what we were doing, and always wanted to get better and beat that group. But as far as us going, other than the speedways and maybe the road courses, you really struggle. Our budget was probably $6-7 million on a consistent basis. When you're racing against Kevin Harvick and, you know, Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano with about a $30 million budget. So you can see that in the business, money buys speed, and 6 and 7 million doesn't compete with 30 million, whether you like it or not. So, but we enjoyed it. No regrets. I wouldn't do it again because of my age. I'm 64 now. And, you know, I got other ventures. I changed my residency from Maine to Florida, enjoy playing golf, doing some other stuff, doing a lot of building and stuff like that. So just stuff I did before on the side, kind of enjoying it. Don't go to many races, but I really have a pretty good late model program. We do the Snowball Derby. We do some other late model races, but really don't go to much of the Cup stuff, probably 2 a year. So I still love it. I just moved on, you know, kind of moved on, took the opportunity on the business side, and still love all the people. Don't know many of them. And I usually go to Loudon and Daytona. And when I go there, it seems like, you know, a lot of people have changed over. It's just not the same people I knew. The owners are the same, but I don't know a lot of the people that I knew. All the you know, the over the wall guys, just got to know. And I'm a hands-on guy. So I got to know all the people there that went over the wall, and they're all good people. And that's the part, I guess, if I miss anything about it, it's the camaraderie of being with good people.